Fourth here, we're going to calculate the cost of the goods that were transferred out and also the cost of the ending work in process. This would be important for inventory evaluation purposes at the balance sheet. Right? We would need to assign a dollar amount for the ending work in process and a dollar amount in finished goods and to cost of goods sold. So I've made this little schedule here, I guess. So we're going to look at the cost of goods transferred out. So the amount transferred out is going to be 90,000 units in total. And you can't just take 90,000 units times 23 cents because this is the unit cost for the month of May. Some of these units had been started in a prior month, so it starts to get real messy and real ugly. But what we do know is of these 15,000 units that were started, all of them were completed, and remember we used that 15,000 in this calculation. 90,000 completed, 15,000 were already started. And so we look up here and we say, okay, those 15,000 had $2,025 already associated with them. So that $2,025 needs to move its way out of work in process, because that's how much would be sitting in work in process at the beginning of the month for those items. Okay, and then we completed some WIP items. We completed this 15,000. So it's not only the 2,025 from up here. We had to add some conversion costs because remember they were only 70% complete. So we added 30% more of labor and overhead, and that was our equivalent unit of 4,500. So you take that 4,500, you multiply it by the conversion cost per unit. So we add another $225 to the cost of goods transferred out. And then you also need to add costs for these 75,000 units that were finished and transferred out. And since they were all started and completed in the current month, we can assign 23 cents for every single one because that's the cost it took to start and complete all 75,000. So 17,250. So the costs of the goods transferred out are all three of those added together. So that's 19,500. Then we look at our ending work in process figure. In the ending work in process, there are 30,000 partially completed units sitting there. The entire material has been added for the 30,000. So I could say, okay, ending work in process is going to be those 30,000 times the 18 cents. So that's how much is the material. And there's also some conversion costs, but it's not all completely converted. So there's only 40%, right? That's where the equivalent units came into play. So we would add the 12,000 times the conversion costs of 5 cents. So we could say these are my conversion costs. And we know that GAAP says the product cost is a function of the material and labor and overhead, which is the conversion and the material cost. So $6,000 would be the amount in ending work in process. So you could then say the amount, I guess if we totaled it all up, that we accounted for here is $25,500.